cherish through everything until I die.
Well, here we go again. Taylor Sheridan's circus just rolled another wagon into town, and this time he's brought Hollywood royalty to the ranch. Ed Harris and Annette Benning saddling up alongside Beth and Rip? That's not casting, that's an ambush. It's like Sheridan kicked down the doors of the Academy Awards, roped two legends, and dragged them straight into Montana dust. And if that wasn't enough, he's handing the reins over to Chad Feehan, the man who knows how to make TV bleed grit and still keep the horses fed on time. So saddle up. This isn't just another Yellowstone chapter. This is Sheridan building a dynasty, one rage-fueled monologue and one smoldering stare at a time. Ed Harris arrives in the Yellowstone universe. Ed Harris walking into the Yellowstone universe feels less like a casting announcement and more like Taylor Sheridan raiding Hollywood's Mount Olympus for his next mythological figure. Let's be honest, this isn't some no-name ranch hand riding in from the back 40. This is Ed Harris, the man who can make pouring a cup of coffee feel like a moral dilemma. He's got that granite stare, that voice like whiskey soaked in barbed wire, and a resume that makes half of Hollywood look like they're still stuck in cattle call auditions. If Yellowstone wasn't already dripping with gravitas, Harris just brought a tanker truck full of it, parked it at the ranch, and left the keys in the ignition. And here's the kicker. He's not playing some gunslinger or power-hungry oil baron. No, Harris is stepping in as Everett McKinney, a weathered veterinarian with more heart than most politicians could ever dream of. On paper, a vet with compassion sounds like a Hallmark side character. But when you slap Ed Harris into that saddle, suddenly you've got the most dangerous ranch doctor this side of the Mississippi. You just know that when Rip and Beth lock eyes with him, there won't just be respect, there'll be sparks, tension, maybe even a little fear. Because let's face it, Harris doesn't play characters. He detonates them into existence, and the ranch may never recover from the fallout. It's also the perfect Sheridan flex. The man has a knack for pulling A-listers into his dusty, violent playground. But this casting is a different beast. Ed Harris is Hollywood royalty. He's not here to pad out the cast list. He's here to steal scenes, chew up dialogue like rawhide, and remind everyone why he's a four-time Oscar nominee who can still outact just about anyone with a pulse. In other words, buckle up. The Yellowstone universe didn't just get bigger, it got teeth, grit, and a stare that could break glass. And if you thought Rip was intimidating before, just wait until Ed Harris rides in to check his horse's teeth. Annette Benning enters the barn. Annette Benning stepping into the Yellowstone fold is the kind of casting move that makes you sit back, sip your coffee, and mutter, well, hell, Sheridan did it again. This isn't just another character walking into the barn, this is Annette Benning, a four-time Oscar nominee, a Hollywood legend, a woman who could read the back of a cereal box and make you cry into your Lucky Charms. And now she's wrangling her way into the Dutton world as Beulah Jackson, a strong-willed rancher who's probably tougher than half the cowboys we've already met. If Ed Harris is bringing gravitas, Benning is dragging in raw steel, wrapped in velvet with a sight of fire that could burn a cattle brand straight through the screen. The magic here isn't just that she's joining, it's what her presence means. Sheridan doesn't hand out these roles like candy at Halloween. If Benning's in the barn, you can bet her character is going to tilt the balance of power, stir the pot, and probably shatter a few whiskey glasses in the process. This isn't some background matriarch who pats heads and bakes pies. This is Beulah Jackson, a woman who looks a Dutton dead in the eye and says, "My land, my rules." And if you think Beth Dutton is fire and brimstone, imagine her meeting a Beulah who's been fighting her own battles long before the Dutton name started echoing through Montana like a church bell. That clash, that's not just TV, it's appointment television. And let's not pretend this doesn't elevate Yellowstone's prestige even higher. With Harris and Benning on deck, Sheridan is practically turning his franchise into a Hollywood all-star ranch. This isn't casting for shock value, it's a statement. Benning doesn't enter a barn quietly. She commands it, reshapes it, and leaves everyone else scrambling to keep up. She's not just another character in the Yellowstone saga, she's about to become the storm the ranch didn't see coming. And frankly, watching her drop the hammer in a world already full of firebrands might be the best reason yet to saddle up for this next chapter. Carter's evolution. Finn Little returns. Carter's return isn't just a footnote, it's the kind of comeback that makes you realize Taylor Sheridan plays the long game better than most chess masters. When we first met Finn Little's Carter, he was the scrappy stray pup Beth reluctantly dragged home, equal parts heartbreak and headache. Fast forward, and now the kid's grown up, taller, meaner, and with that familiar Dutton grit carved into his bones. Finn Little walking back into this universe isn't just nostalgia. It's a reminder that in Yellowstone, the kids don't just grow, they evolve into weapons. Sheridan didn't keep Carter around to fade into the background. He's sharpening him like a knife for something big. And let's be real, Carter's evolution mirrors the entire franchise's DNA. He started out as the outsider, the orphan, knocking on the barn door, and now he's poised to become the next generation's linchpin. Think about it. Rip and Beth are the fire. John Dutton is the crumbling legacy, and Carter, he's the wild card that could inherit the storm. Finn Little has aged into the role perfectly. No longer just the wide-eyed kid fumbling for acceptance, but a character who carries both loyalty and danger in equal measure. The second he saddles up again, you know it's going to feel like watching the Dutton saga through brand new eyes. Eyes that have already seen too much. The brilliance of bringing Carter back is that it makes the audience squirm in the best way possible. Do we see him as the son Beth and Rip never had, the heir to the Yellowstone throne? Or does Sheridan have a darker, more gut-punching arc waiting for him? The kind that rips your heart out just as you finally start to believe in the kid. That's the power of Finn Little's return. It's not just continuity, it's a narrative landmine waiting to explode. Sheridan knows Carter's evolution is the story fans didn't realize they were desperate for. And now that he's back, the stakes for every character just got a whole lot higher. Beth and Rip's life after the finale. Beth and Rip's life after the Yellowstone finale is the kind of story that almost writes itself. Because how do you follow an ending that felt like a bar fight mixed with a Greek tragedy? You don't slow down, that's for sure. You throw them headfirst into a spinoff and dare them to survive each other. Beth and Rip aren't exactly the white picket fence couple who settle down and host Sunday dinners. No, these two are dynamite wrapped in denim, always one match strike away from blowing the roof off whatever house they're in. Life after the finale? Think fewer campfire sing-alongs and more scorched earth legacy building, because these two don't know how to live quietly, even if their lives depended on it. What's so fascinating here is that the finale essentially shoved Beth and Rip onto center stage and told them, congrats, you're the future now, and let's not pretend that's going to be smooth sailing. Beth isn't suddenly going to swap verbal napalm for gentle family wisdom, and Rip isn't about to start preaching patience like some Marlboro monk. If anything, their new chapter means doubling down, running the ranch, raising Carter, and fending off every vulture who wants a piece of Yellowstone. And let's be honest, the Dutton Ranch without John might feel like a throne without a king, but Beth and Rip aren't the type to mourn the crown. They'll wear it like a weapon, heavy, bloody, and sharp enough to cut anyone who gets close. But here's the delicious part. Life after the finale also strips them down to their most vulnerable truth, without John as the looming patriarch, without Casey as the reluctant heir. It's Beth and Rip against the world. And for all their grit and savagery, these two are still haunted creatures. Broken people who found their redemption in each other. That's what makes their story both terrifying and irresistible. Because when Beth and Rip build a life, they don't just build it. They carve it into stone, salt the earth around it, and dare anyone to take it from them. Life after the finale isn't peaceful, it's war disguised as love. And fans wouldn't have it any other way. Chad Feehan takes the reins. Handing the reins of a Yellowstone spinoff to Chad Feehan is like swapping out a rodeo cowboy for a seasoned gunslinger. You don't lose the grit, but you sure as hell get a different kind of swagger. Feehan isn't some rookie fresh off the trail. This guy cut his teeth on Ray Donovan and Lawmen. Bass Reeves, which means he knows how to blend high-stakes grit grit with character-driven storytelling. Translation? He's not just here to babysit Sheridan's sandbox, he's here to steer it with a steady hand while Sheridan juggles about 15 other shows, a cattle ranch, and probably a side hustle in barbed wire. And let's be blunt, this move is as much about survival as it is about creativity. Sheridan's empire is expanding faster than a prairie wildfire, and even the man himself can't brand every calf. Enter Fihan, the hired gun, the trusted lieutenant, the guy who can actually deliver scripts on time while Sheridan plays kingmaker of the Paramount universe. It's not a demotion for Sheridan, but it's definitely a sign that the golden boy of TV knows he can't spin every plate alone without shattering a few. With Fihan running point, the spinoff has a chance to breathe its own air instead of gasping for scraps of Sheridan's attention. The best part? Fihan might just be the secret weapon this universe needs. Sheridan is brilliant at creating raw, thunderous worlds, but sometimes his scripts lean heavy on the testosterone and horse sweat. Fihan, he's proven he can weave nuance into the grit, layering subtlety beneath the gunsmoke. If he pulls it off, the Dutton Ranch won't just feel like another Sheridan cookie cutter, it could stand tall as its own beast, with fresh blood pumping through the veins of the Yellowstone franchise. And honestly, with Benning, Harris, Riley, and Hauser all in the mix, Fihan's job isn't just to keep the train on the tracks, it's to make damn sure this ride feels like a runaway locomotive, not just another cattle drive. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Just when you think the Yellowstone machine is running out of steam, Sheridan sneaks in with a power move so bold you can practically hear Hollywood gasping for breath. Ed Harris glaring across the barn, Annette Benning rewriting the ranch's pecking order, Finn Little stepping into his own, and Fihan keeping the whole rodeo from collapsing. This isn't TV, it's a high-stakes poker game with Sheridan grinning like he's already holding 4 aces. So if you thought the Dutton saga was slowing down, think again. The barn's full, the stakes are higher than ever, and the only real question left is who's going to get trampled when the dust finally settles.